Is this back to the future? Is this a Tory government?
Well, look, this last 12 years under this government, we've seen public spending cut more than at any time in my lifetime. I mean, you go back, Tory prime ministers in the 60s and 70s wouldn't have been cutting back on NHS spending. But under this government, in 12 years, they're now spending 18% less on the NHS than if they carried on with Labour spending.
That is just not true.
It is true.
No, hang on, hear me through. We are now spending 12% of GDP on the health sector, all right? 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we were spending 8%. It's not a lack of money, is it?
It is a lack of money. We've got thousands of job, 60,000 nurses vacancies and things like that. This government, this last 12 years, has made cuts in public spending, not just the NHS, that no Tory government in the decades before would have dared to do. And I think, this is appalling. I totally support those workers going on strike, because in real terms, their pay in the last decade has come down by almost up to 20%.
I may sympathise with you on the pay.
Don't forget, we're the sixth richest nation in the world. We don't have to treat people
I
like
have
this.
some sympathy with you on the pay issue, and I said so last night about the nurses, although to ask for 19%, I thought in their case was unreasonable, but equally the government needs to give more in this negotiation. So I do have some sympathy on the pay. However, if you are involved in a vital public service where the immediacy of people's life is concerned, is it right to go on strike?
Of course, it's a bloody nightmare. But what else have they got to do? This government's been squeezing their pay year by year by year, and it's triggered this strike. This strike isn't because the workers want to go on strike, because they've got no choice now. Lots of them aren't able to pay their rent. Literally, in my lifetime, there's never been a government as bad as this. It's made cuts that no previous Tory government, Edward Heath, wouldn't have done this.
I remember Ken Livingstone in the 1980s saying similar things about the Thatcher government.
Well, but she wouldn't have made cuts in the NHS. She did some pretty terrible things, like abolishing my council.
Well, some of us thought it was about, but you came back. Yeah. I'm going to repeat the point. We're putting more money into health than we ever did before. It may not have found its way into nurses' pockets or ambulance drivers' pockets.
But it's not keeping up with the need. This is the thing. Literally, you look at Britain, we're getting older. More and more Brits are getting to be over 60, over 75. And, of course, immediately when you're my age, you have more health problems than you do when you're 45.
And mass immigration has led to our population exploding as well.
Well, yeah, but if we weren't doing that mass immigration, there'd be even more vacancies. We've got surgeons coming from Africa and Latin America to work here.
Final thought, if people die today directly as a result of this ambulance strike, whose fault is it?
This government.